Welcome back to Underrated Movies. I'm your guy, I'm your man, Mr. Alton Henry. Today I'm going to talk to you about another film that I think is severely underrated. It came out back in 1996, I think called Executive Decision, starring Kurt Russell, John Leguizamo, and Steven Seagal, with also Halle Berry. It's a story about a team of, it's about a plane that gets kidnapped, and I'm trying to be careful with my words here, but it's a story of a group of revolutionists, I'll say, kidnap a plane and has a device on it and plans on crashing it into the Pentagon. And there's a team of U.S. militaries sent up there to board the plane while in air and to take them down. The people kidnapping the plane. And yeah, it's a I hope I did a good job trying to without sounding. It's a suspense thriller, and it's really revolves around. I'm sorry, I'm trying to really be careful how I say this with this film. Um, I think I'm gonna just say what my personal thoughts about this film and certain sequences and moments I really liked about it without basically talking all over what goes on. But the movie's old. I'll spoil some things about it. Kurt Russell plays in somewhat of an analyst who is very knowledgeable about this certain device that was stolen from the U.S. government and brought onto this plane where it's going to be used. It's a chemical device where if it explodes, it basically pollutes the air and causes everybody to sick and die and all that. And Kurt Russell, unfortunately, led by Steven Seagal's character, he gets recruited on this mission to disarm it because everybody else on the team doesn't know how to do that. So he's the one that technically knows how to do it. Well, he's knowledgeable about it, and then they end up recruiting somebody else who literally knows how to defuse the bomb. I think I think the actor's name is Oliver Platt. For those who don't know, if anybody's seen the iconic, underrated cult classic Ready to Rumble, there you go. And on the plane, when they board it, it's actually a pretty good sequence how they board this plane. And yes, I am watching home movies back there. It's where they're able to fly right under the plane, and to retain air pressure, they have to climb up one by one. I'm sure there's a better way to do it nowadays, but this came back in '96. And while they were trying to do that, they of course fell into some complications where the vibration was just kind of just too much, and they soon would have to disengage or disconnect from the plane, otherwise both planes fall down. Uh, and honestly, when this one kind of started, it actually makes you feel like Steven Seagal, since his name popped up, was actually the main star. I even heard that the film, when it was being advertised, they literally made you like the film sold it like Steven Seagal was the main star of this film. He is not. He's in maybe 10 minutes of the movie, maybe 10 minutes. If I had to sum up his scenes, all of his scenes in the movie, he's probably in there for a good 10 minutes. And after that, he's gone. That's the sequence to where he's actually done. He's one of the soldiers that doesn't make it on the plane, and the movie actually leads into Kurt Russell, who takes over the lead and tries to figure out how to take care of this. And this is what I really liked about this film. This is not an action heavy film. This is a, again, to its core, a suspense thriller. So it's like, mm, I'm not going to compare it to that, but it's like the United 93 documentation film, but it's like if they prevented that from happening. Um, and that's the best way I guess I could describe this movie. Um, to its core, it's a very intense, but like very, I guess, like laid back and slow paced, kind of like action thriller. Like there's really not much thrills when it comes to the action part because it builds up its momentum, and there's kind of paranoia where uh, are the soldiers going to get found out when they're on the plane, or how they're gonna, how they're gonna deactivate the device while they're on it, and it gets really interesting, and it gets to the point where they actually have to use one of the passengers to actually aid them to figure out where the other device is located or where somebody who could be a transmitter to to prevent them from also having access to the device. And I'm sorry, I'm really trying to be careful with this, how I'm saying it, how I'm trying to, on this platform. Because there's some subject matters that but I mean movies like rated R. This is a good film. This is a good thriller. I really kind of like the charisma that Kurt Russell and Halle Berry tries to establish. There's actually a good uh, sequence towards the end where they're trying to, rescue everybody, and it actually gets really intense. Second to, and I think the filmmaker of this also directed U.S. Marshal, and U.S. Marshal to me has one of the best plane crash sequences, um, where everybody lives, or most of everybody lives. Same thing to here. Um, and at this time, you can see the effects don't hold up, but I actually like the practical effects how they used what they were able to do during this time. This was great. Um, but if you're like looking for a good suspense action thriller, this is it. I actually miss when action films try to be more suspenseful and they don't rely on action spectate just to have it there because an audience might be bored or something, or it tries to tell a compelling or interesting story with action in it, and that's what I really liked about this film. It's a very classic '90s action movie that should get some more recognition. Um, it's not just a throwaway. I really suggest you check this movie out. Really, you might be able to watch it for free on YouTube. If not, if you have HBO Max, it should be available on there. It is a Warner Brothers property. Um, Executive Decision. Comment below if you have seen it, what you thought about it, and let me know what is your favorite underrated movie.